Yo, what up, man? It's Dope Man, about your God, and right now you kicking it with Space City Collective right in the Southeast.
You're now kicking it with Space City. That's right.
Yo, what's going down? It's that boy T, the screwed up SA, and you now kicking it with Space City Podcast.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for coming back, kicking it with Space City Collective. I'm your host, Gio.
Your host, Chino.
This is Rich.
And your boy, Eryk Anders.
Let's
doing,
go.
man?
Thank you for coming down to H-Town. How does H-Town usually treat you whenever you're down here?
It's one of my favorite cities in the nation. You know, being from San Antonio, this is, just a few hours down the road. So
San Antonio is like our second home, too.
yeah, so anytime I get a chance to come up here, I never miss an opportunity.
I know you're from San Antonio.
Yeah. Well, we moved there when I was in high school. My mom was in the Air Force, so we moved around quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
So when I was like a sophomore in high school, we moved down there. So just to keep the story simple, Smithson Valley, state powerhouse, man. I'm sure you've heard of it.
You won.
Nah, we ain't win state, man. We went to the finals and then lost to South Lake Carroll.
Oh,
My senior year. Yeah, that 5A was as big as it was back then. This is back in 05.
yeah.
Now there's like 6 or maybe even 7A, which I don't know.
So you graduated in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
You went to Bama, and so how did it all go about from going to
You're
a major, moving around and going to a major college?
Man, actually playing Texas football, high school football, really prepared me, I think, for college football because when I was in high school, we was on the block schedule. So we had like 4 classes a day, hour and a half each, and the third period of every day was football. So we'd have to run from the school down to the field house, practice, change. Had like a 12-period practice. A period is like 5 minutes. Then go back up to the school, eat lunch, go to the last period, and then come back and practice at the end of the day.
Jeez.
So we even
Get that
had
extra work in.
Yeah, we were having like 2-a-days every day.
Full padded.
Every day. And then in the off season, that third period we were lifting weights. So when I got to college, I had already had like a legit weight program, and some of those kids, like they were awesome athletes and stuff, but they had never like worked out or lifted weights or whatever. So, I was already disciplined like to do all that stuff on my own kind of thing because I even come back after school and like go to track practice or whatever. And, those kids, when football season was over, they just on to the next sport. So they never like really lifted weights or, which, that says a lot about them because they hadn't even like maximized their, their physical potential. You know what I mean? Here I am like as best as I could be at the time.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, thank God I had that because if I didn't, I was already like further ahead than they were, but a lot of those dudes, 6'4", 250 without even touching the weight. You know what I mean? So I needed that, in high school.
Were you heavily recruited in high school, or did you have a couple offers?
Nah, I had like 4 offers. I had like Memphis, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Alabama, and I was headed to Ole Miss, but I really just wasn't a fan, just of Mississippi in general. I just feel even like a little bit racist even saying Mississippi, you know what I mean?
I think we all feel like that, right?
And they were the Rebels at the time. They were the Ole Miss Rebels, which, he's like a plantation owner. He's like a old white dude with a mustache leaning on a cane. So I was like, I don't.
That shit's real.
But I was like, SEC football, I was trying to get to the league, you know what I mean? So I was like SEC over, the Big 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to go to the SEC. And then Alabama came. Someone didn't qualify academically, so a scholarship came open. And so they hit me up. I don't know, Alabama ain't too far from Mississippi, but at least, that's kind of like the birthplace of the civil rights movement. They're like a little bit ahead, a little bit more progressive than Mississippi is. So I was like, and they weren't anything at the time, but, luckily, timing is everything. After my second year, Nick Saban came, and then my senior year.
Middle of it?
Mike Shula recruited me, and then they fired him after my redshirt freshman year, and then they hired Saban. So I had Saban my sophomore, junior, and senior year, and then we won the national championship my senior year.
against Texas. Was that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Which is even better for me. Like you couldn't have wrote the story any better because
No, that was crazy. That whole game was crazy.
but Texas was my squad growing up. Not even being from Texas originally, I would just always loved them for some reason. Like Ricky Williams, Cedric Benson.
Yeah, and I think everybody
Vince
loves
Young.
Vince Young.
Yeah, you know. So I just really enjoyed watching those guys play, and you know, I wanted to go there, but they didn't recruit me. So, you know, to come back my senior year, play in a national championship, and have like a key play at the end of the game to kind of seal it for Alabama.
Was it a fumble?
Yeah,
Like
he
a
sacked
sack,
the shit
forced fumble,
Yeah.
gave us the ball, we scored with, you know, I think like 2 minutes left in the game, and kind of put the game out of reach. You know, you really can't script it any better than that. You know what I mean?
And Colt McCoy got hurt.
He got hurt like the first quarter, the first play or some shit like that,
Yeah,
right?
so dude, even like every time I come back to Texas and like people bring this game up, they're always like, if Colt McCoy would have played, but
No, I don't think it would. It would have been the same outcome.
it
Honestly,
would have been worse. The game would have even been close
Because you're
because
game planning for this guy.
for Colt McCoy, you know, he's dual threat. You know, he can make plays with his arm just as well as he could with his feet. So the whole game plan was not even rush him, keep him in the pocket, and make him be one dimensional.
Yeah.
And so when he got hurt, you know, we didn't know anything about Garrett Gilbert. You know, he was happier than a pig in shit to just sit back there with no pressure. And him and Shipley,
He made a good game.
yeah, him and Shipley got on the same page, and they were kind of picking us apart low key. So if Colt McCoy plays, that doesn't happen. You know, Garrett Gilbert, and I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", whatever. Colt McCoy is, you know, a little bit short, and I think he may be like 5'11", 6 foot. So he'd have a hard time like seeing over everybody, you know what I'm saying, just keeping it in the pocket, not let him run for yards or run to like extend the play, you know what I mean? So for all you Texas fans, like the game is out of reach if Colt McCoy plays. I know they won. I know they won this past year, but you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like after football, what did you decide to do, or what happened?
You didn't go to pro combine?
No, I got picked up in free agency by the Cleveland Browns. Got cut. Went to Canada. Got cut. Played a year of arena football, and it was pretty much just like, you know.
Arena football?
Yeah. Up in Colorado, which was cool, but you know it ain't paying the same.
What's arena? What's the difference?
It's like you could.
It's like a 50-yard field. Like you're inside.
It's more offense, right?
It's like a 25-yard.
Like
Yeah, it's a much faster pace.
you can throw people over the fucking.
Yeah, there's a wall. The wall is out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's just like
Oh
hit
shit!
them out. Shit.
So it's just, you know, I already had a son, so I was just like, you know, if it ain't the NFL, then you know, I don't want to play no more.
NFL bus.
And your body like.
Yeah, I didn't want, you know, it just wasn't the same. And then you go from a school like Alabama where everybody's disciplined, like they have to earn their spot. You know, then you go play for an unorganized, you know, like the league was organized, but then you getting people from everywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
So like they just happy to be there. So, you know, it'd be like 3rd and 10, and you know somebody late hits the quarterback or something, and get them a first down. Like for me, it would just drive me nuts, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah,
man.
Alabama was like the most disciplined.
Yeah, so when the season ended, you know, I took it back to Alabama, and you know, just started working odd jobs here and there, and just wanted I found myself like, you know, drinking and like, you know, abusing pills and stuff like that, you know, not living a very like healthy lifestyle and fighting all the time. And so I just remember one day I looked at my son, and I was just like, thought to myself, like, I gotta do better, you know what I mean? So I just needed somewhere to put like my energy and focus. So I walked into a gym, started training, fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and then got in contact with Walt Harris.
What gym was that?
This was in Tuscaloosa. It was a gym called Headhunters. It's not even there no more. And then
You remember that year?
This is like maybe 2010, 2011. And got in contact with Walt Harris because like through a mutual friend, I met him, and he was a fighter. He was an Alabama fan. So he was like, yeah, come to the gym. And then I just walked into the gym, and the coach was like, can you fight? And I'm like 24 years old, like, You know how you was at 24 years old. And, you know, like, just like every other dude, is like, I'm thinking of, like, fight. Like, I just fought last week, some dude in the bar, you know what I mean? Yeah, I can fight, you know? But then he's like, all right, cool, you know, go spar Walt. I don't even think I had a mouthpiece. Definitely didn't have a cup. He was just in some gym shorts. No.
Walt's a heavyweight, right?
He's a big boy. But thank God he's a sweetheart, dude. He's really nice. So he just, like, let me know what he could have done without actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? He could have hurt me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about fighting or let alone defense, you know what I mean? So he really could have. But then I realized, it's like, dude, I don't know nothing. So, but that experience made me fall in love with MMA and like, for real, like, boxing and organized fighting rather than just fighting some drunk dude or being drunk myself and fighting some dude at a bar or in the street or whatever. So I just kind of like dedicated and put everything on my time, effort, and energy into that.
So that's when you decided, like, I'm gonna take this serious.
Yeah, so he beat me up, like he could have knocked me out. He could have like fucked me up really good. But it's just like I realized like how vulnerable. Yeah, you know, he's a nice dude. So it just kind of made me realize how like vulnerable I really am and how much I don't know. So it just kind of made me want to do it. But I knew like after that experience, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Like every second I had, I wasn't at work or with my kids, you know, I'd be in the gym, and I'm still like that now.
It's crazy because like you go from being on top of the world on Alabama, like national championship, and a year later, like you're just in a whole different position in your life. You know what I mean? Because how did it feel in that moment winning the national championship? You win.
Dude, at that point, you know, I was
on top of the world.
22. It was like, how can you beat that? Especially, you know, like I said, being from Texas, wanting to go to Texas. Texas don't recruit me.
Yeah.
I go to Alabama and then through circumstance and like coincidence, you end up playing them and making a key play to beat them. You know what I'm saying? And you're from Texas. You're from 90 miles down the street.
Right.
So you already know all your people saw that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it couldn't have been scripted any better. So, but then you go from that to arena football, to like getting cut. You're like, shy, but you know, like even if you did make it, like you wouldn't last very long. You know, the average career is like 3 years or whatever. So you go to Canada, like, all right, cool, and then you get cut from there. It's like,
how was Canada football?
It's a little bit different, but they can only keep like 7 Americans on every team. Otherwise, there would never be any Canadians on these Canadian teams because
they're not that good.
The American football players are way better. It's not even close. So, but then you go play arena football and you're like, man, this shit suck. And now you're like, you come home, you think you're having a job, you're gonna have a job, and you just won a championship the year before. You would think like a booster would have like a job, you know, whatever.
There's no XFL.
but there was nothing. Like I was a janitor, so I was just like mad, you know what I mean, like frustrated. And then you find this, and it's like, so you really have to like swallow your ego. But
what made you go to the gym, like?
Because man, like I didn't want to like go to jail. I didn't want to like somebody to like hit me with a pool stick or like, you know, fuck me up with a beer bottle or whatever. Like it's not safe to be fighting in a bar. You know what I mean? That's why I just always found myself, you know, just in a bar drinking, you know, swallowing pills and whatnot. So like
one day you're just like, let me go to the gym.
Well, yeah, like I remember like looking at my kid, like he was a baby, like he's maybe 1, 2 years old, and it's like.
You gotta make a change.
You know, you ain't gonna be no good to him if you in jail or, you know what I'm saying, you got, you know, jammed up or whatever. So I had to do better. So that's when I started going to the gym and I was like, jiu-jitsu's cool, but
you need something else, right?
I see what this fighting thing be like, you know what I'm saying? Then Walt beat me up and I was just like, then you go through all that, so it's like you already kind of like broke down, you know what I'm saying? So there really wasn't much ego left to swallow, you know what I mean? So you just kind of have to like a lot of things. Like a lot of people could be a lot good at a lot of other things, but you know, it's just you have to like check yourself and like step into that uncomfortable area to like realize if you like it, don't like it. Like you gotta give it a shot. Like a lot of former football players who don't make it would be phenomenal fighters, but man, just think about it, you go from being like an all everything to, you know, a 15-year-old kid choking you out. Like, you're not gonna like that. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? So it really take a special kind of dumbass to like want to do that in the first place.
And When did you take your first AMI or like?
All right, so that first gym that I went to when I sparred Walt, like the coach, he was a pillhead too. You know what I'm saying? So it's the blind leading the blind. You know what I mean? So I was just like, some dude hit me up who I knew through like, he was sell like Alabama merchandise or whatever, and he was like, you know, they're having this fight up in Huntsville. Do you want to do it? All right.
Huntsville?
Yeah, Alabama.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
that's what I heard.
Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, up in Huntsville, Alabama. Do you want to do it? I had only been training like a month max.
That's it?
Yeah, and I was just like, all right. He's like, you're going to fight twice. You're going to box one, have a boxing match, and then do an MMA fight.
On the same day, right?
That was one of his questions.
So I was like, all right. And like, dude, I was still kind of like a knucklehead. So like, I'm driving, smoking Newports on the way to the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 2-hour drive. And the promoter calls me and he's like, hey, you know, they want your blood work to be within 6 months. Have you had your blood work done in 6 months? I had my blood work done since I was in college.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, you know, whatever. I had it like 3 months. Yeah, they didn't ask me to prove. There was no commission.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't ask me to prove it or nothing. They just took my word. And now I started to get like worried on the way up there. I was like, dude, what if the dude I'm fighting did the exact same thing? Like, you know, and then you got to explain how you got hepatitis, you know what I'm saying? Like, or something like that. But, you know, I went ahead and did it. And, like, my coach, he didn't even show up, you know? So I'm in, like, this back room. And I like, hey, to the other fighters and coaches, I'm like, excuse me, will anybody, like, wrap my hands or, you know, like, corner me? You don't have to say nothing. You just like put the bucket out there and hold the stool, you know, in between rounds or whatever. You know, I appreciate it.
So you're by yourself?
Solo.
It was crazy.
So like, but this dude that I knew actually works for his mom. He was like, he was fighting that night too. This is just how fucked up the MMA scene in Alabama was. He was fighting that night too. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. He was like reluctant to do it because he's like focused on his shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard.
But he was like, yeah, all right, whatever, I'll do it. And so I went out there and boxed 3 rounds, lost a split decision. But then later on that night, I fought the MMA fight and knocked the dude out in like 50 seconds. And I was like, this is it, dude. This is way better. I like dropped him, got on top. Like,
Yeah.
and I ain't no standing 8 count.
There's
You
no
know what I
video.
mean? Yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah, I got it. I don't have the boxing match, but I got the MMA fight somewhere on my phone.
That's crazy.
That was your first fight?
Yeah, I was out there with some, you know, Alabama gym shorts, you know, some mesh shorts, fighting some, you know, some redneck from the middle of nowhere.
Like a Fight Club scene.
Dude, listen, the people were like smoking cigarettes in this place. They set up a boxing ring in a bar. So just think about like.
So it was like a rope, like it was.
Yeah, like a rope, like a boxing ring. You know, people out there smoking, they're drunk, you know, everybody just, you know, whatever. It wasn't like
putting money on
500 people out there or nothing like that, but like there may have been like 100, 150 people in this place. But everybody, I swear to God, dude, every single person, there was a cigarette in every single person's hand in that place, dude. It was just fucking like smog, yeah, dude. And it was a cool experience. I didn't know anything, but I didn't know nothing better.
Did they pay or was it?
Hell no. Hell no.
Nah, that means you don't get paid.
Oh shit.
Hell no. They weren't paying nobody.
Yeah. You get ticket sales.
Yeah.
But it went on your record, right?
I got nothing.
You don't even get ticket sales.
It wasn't sanctioned. I didn't sell no tickets.
You had a shitload of amateur fights, right?
I had like 24 amateur fights.
Why so many?
Because like when I first started, I was like 250.
You were just fucking around or what?
Yeah, well, I was just fighting every week. Like I tell you, like my coach, he's a junkie. So he was just like, yeah, Eryk will fight. So every time I go in the gym, he's like, hey, you got to fight this week. Hey, coach, I just fought last week. But, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, it's cool. You need ring experience. So, but like as I was training, like you just like kind of naturally like get in fight shape and like, you know, shed all the what you don't need. So I was like way bigger. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was fighting Walt, like my chest was so big, like just from like lifting heavy all the time. Like I couldn't like bring my elbows to my, you know,
that's what we were talking about last time.
So I couldn't block nothing down the middle. So I was literally like, boo, 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 boo. You know, getting my head, you know, like a Pez dispenser. But then like, you know, what you don't need, your body will just burn it off like through the training and whatnot. So I just like naturally like losing weight, getting leaner. And like, so I started like a heavyweight. and then I moved to light heavyweight, and I thought that's where I would fight. Because I had no experience, so for me, I was just like, I need as much experience with actually fighting and training as I could get. And then I went to another gym because I just, just got tired of that coach. Yeah. Like, he'd always be late. Like, he's always, like, nodding off at practice. Like, he's like a real-life junkie, dude. And
you stuck with him for a while, huh?
I trained with him for, like, 2 years. Yeah, regrettably. Because after a certain point, like, you're not learning anything because he's not doing nothing to learn anything himself. So
you're basically teaching yourself.
Yeah, what more? I was just, out there fighting to get better and training and sparring, you know what I'm saying? And, that's like the Wild West. That's the old days of MMA, People don't train like that no more. They're more worried about, like, the reps that you're getting rather than the damage that you're taking. You know what I mean? Like, they drill more now than they do actually spar. Mm-hmm. But I was, like, sparring every day. Walk at that, you know what I'm saying? So taking damage, getting beat up. And then I went to the gym that I train at now, Sparring Fitness, across town, with Chris Conley, who actually fought as a professional, had an amateur career. And he really taught me how to fight. And then eventually he gave me a job, like, teaching at the gym. And I think that's when I made my biggest growth because I had to teach, like, 4-year-old kids how to do this stuff, anywhere from 4 years old to, like, 50, 60-year-old adults. So you have to, like, figure out how to, like, articulate and show and demonstrate. So all day in the gym, I was, coaching, showing. And so you're, like, getting mental reps as far as well as the physical reps of, like, showing the move or the technique, so. You
gotta demonstrate everything.
Yeah, they always say teaching you, like, you learn way more. I'm not a good coach, but I love to compete, like in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, sure.
But I hate coaching, or I can't teach a class. It's just not my.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, and it wasn't for me at first because at first I was just like, man, I'd rather be training right now, But then, I was married at the time. I had, I had the kids, and so it's like, I gotta make this money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I had to make myself like it. And do it better so that I could, like, sell gym memberships, sell private lessons,
make it a business,
class that everybody wanted to come to. You know what I mean? And
at
then,
this point, you're still amateur, like when you're teaching.
Yeah, And even into my pro career, I main evented against Machida. So I was like 3-4 fights into my UFC career. I think that was Machida might have been my 11th professional fight, on top of the 24 amateur fights. Mm-hmm. So. And I really wasn't making money like that until I fought Machida. And then after I fought Machida, he did, like, now you need to prioritize rest as well as training. So I just remember, like, being exhausted all the time. Like, even before I started, like, working at the gym, I'd get up at, like, 4 in the morning, go train. I had a regular job, did the 9-to-5 thing. I was also in school to be a firefighter. So I was in school, then I go train. I wouldn't get home till like 10, 11 at night.
And that firefighter shit's kind of like
rough,
tough,
huh?
Like,
yeah, dude, I'd have to do like rotations in the hospital, in the emergency room, and then on an ambulance. And I just get home at like 11 o'clock at night, exhausted. Just just walk past my old lady at the time, and not say nothing. And then she was like, "Why don't you quit all this extra stuff?" I think I was 28 at this point. So why you don't quit all this extra stuff and just train? And I was like, just like everybody else, I had an excuse. I got to pay this, I got to pay that. And so she, kind of took all the excuses away. She was like, I got us until you get there. Give it 2 years, and if you don't make it in 2 years, you can always go back to work. And like damn near 2 years to the day, I got signed to the UFC, and then my third fight, I main evented against Machida, and then I quit working, and that's all I've been doing ever since is just training and fighting.
So were you fighting at a promotion like in Alabama, like before the UFC, or?
Yeah, well, I fought for LFA. They're like a Texas-based promotion.
Mm-hmm. Was Mick Maynard with him?
Yeah, he was the owner.
Okay.
And his wife ran it, from what I remember, and.
They still around?
He sold
it, and
yeah.
he became matchmaker for UFC.
Yeah. And I won their middleweight belt, and then 29 days later, I made my UFC debut.
Nice.
So after you won the belt, you went straight to UFC?
Yeah.
So that boy Texas made all the way.
Yeah.
So how was it when you were preparing for Machida? Like, I know that,
He's a tricky puzzle,
how long
right?
did you have to
Man,
camp?
you know the one of the crazy thing is like one of the first fights I ever saw. My roommate in college was a huge UFC fan, and I remember watching like Shogun versus Machida. I don't remember if it was the first or second fight, but I remember like walking through the living room just like I beat their ass and fucking kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to fight them, and so for me, like it was super cool to like. You know, like the first thing I ever saw with MMA was Machida.
That's
And
dope.
now here I am
like
fighting
in a
him.
video game, like fighting.
Yeah. So now I get to fight him. Like he's towards the end of his career, you know. And I got the main event, you know, in Brazil. You know,
Well,
so
that one was in Belém, or
yeah, Belém.
Right,
yeah,
Belém.
that's like at the very top.
That's his
He's
side
from
of town,
there.
right?
He's from there.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I remember,
How was that crowd?
Dude,
Were they saying that vai morir?
Yeah, vai morrer.
Yeah.
I remember getting there because I used to cut a lot more weight, and like I was like balloon up a little bit whenever I fly. So I got there on a Sunday, you know.
That affects you, like flying?
Yeah, I for sure put on weight. Yeah. And then, so I remember like trying to go for a run through the city, but dude, it's at like the mouth of the Amazon, dude. It's like a jungle, literally. You know, they have like cement, like buildings and shit, but like the tree roots were like pushing the concrete up, and you know, it's like, dude, if I run on this, I'm a trip. And then like even like the, you know, where the water runs down the street, like from the sidewalk to the street, dude, there's like a ditch. Like that, so I was like, dude, I'm gonna fuck up. So I remember walking into a gym and I was like, hey, and like, dude, our face is like all over the city, billboards, bus stops, fucking placemats at restaurants and whatnot. And I remember walking, I saw like it was like a karate gym, and I walk in there, I just saw like the silhouette or whatever, and I walk in there and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm fighting this weekend, you know, do you mind if I use the gym? And I look up, and it's Machida's gym.
What?
So I was just like, never mind. It's kind of like that Homer Simpson meme where he like backs into the tree. Yeah, slides back into the tree.
Did that really happen?
Yeah. He wasn't in there training or whatnot, but like as soon as I walked in, like,
what are the odds of that happening?
The dude knew who I was at the front desk.
Wait,
like, he was like, I didn't speak very good Portuguese. Yeah, so he was just kind of like looking at me, and then I realized where I was at, and I was just like, never mind. You know.
But I see you run a lot, like, right?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, just because it's like, I don't know, running for me is like therapeutic. Like everything that's in your mind, in your head or whatever, man, you just go for a run. You forget about all the bullshit. And after you finish running, you know, you just feel so good inside. It's like, you know, I used to run a lot, but I broke my foot here recently, so I haven't done much running at all, which, you know, that sucks. But you know, now I just ride the bike.
So, you say you broke your foot like 3 weeks before your last fight. Did that affect your, like?
Yeah, you know, like 3 weeks before my last fight, I was wrestling and like we just fell wrong, and you know, I got what's called like a Liz Frank injury. It's like the middle of your foot breaks, and
you knew it right away when it happened?
I tore my ACL just because of how we fell. Like I felt it in my knee more than anything, and I was just like, that ain't right. But then, you know, I kept wrestling. I was like, all right, cool, my knee's straight. And then I tried to, like, you know, hit another takedown. It just felt like the middle of my foot was loose. So I just, you know, I called the practice then and then went to the doctor, got an x-ray, and they're like, yo, your shit's broke. You know, I don't recommend that you fight, you know. But I really liked the matchup. So I was just like, nah, I'm not going to get another chance. And then my foot's broke, you know, they were talking about like it's 6 months and we're already, so I was like, it was already June or like early or middle of May. So I was like, nah, then I'm not going to fight the rest of the year. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and then do it. Yeah, and so like, you know, I just laid in the bed for about a week, and then the last 2 weeks I was able to like do more and more as like the swelling went down in my foot. Yeah, and then went to Canada and fought.
Yeah. But did it affect the way you fight, or?
Yeah, because you train to do like move a certain way, and then you can't move that way because your foot's broke.
Yeah.
So and I'm not taking anything away from the dude who I lost.
Was it
fair
a
and
split
square.
decision, or what was it?
It was a unanimous decision. He
That was in
won.
Canada?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I fought Marc-Andre Barrios, Canadian guy. So, I'm not taking nothing away from him. He won fair and square or whatever. But, at the same time, like...
In the fight before that, you knocked...
Yeah. The fight before that was probably my best performance that I've had in all my fights. So.
And he was supposed to be some...
Yeah.
He had dropped, right?
So what?
He was a middleweight? That was a middleweight?
Yeah. Both those fights were a middleweight. So, you go from having, like, your best performance to... having a hinder performance. Still got fight of the night. I take the
was it?
Yeah, still, I take the sting away a little bit, you know what I mean? But,
you get a bonus, right? Or?
Yeah, 50 G's.
Nice.
So that's always wanted, always welcome.
Have you got it before that?
Nah, you had it plenty, right?
I think that was my fourth one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what got you started? Like, how long you been training jiu-jitsu, like, purely? I know you compete in jiu-jitsu too, right?
Yeah, I'm a world
Brown
champion at purple belt and brown belt. Won pans a couple times. I like the gi more so than no gi, just because like after a certain point, like you just jello wrestling, like you all sweaty and like slippery and stuff. The gi
technique kind of goes out the window.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. So I've won them both with the gi, purple belt and brown belt. But I've been training about 13 years, with and without the gi.
So you're a brown belt right now?
Yeah.
So you're on deck for that black?
Man, we'll see when it comes, man. It's always on time, you know what I mean?
For sure. But yeah, 12, 13 years, that's a long time.
Yeah. And I've been doing it consistently.
Like
yeah, so,
How was that Fury grappling show?
It was cool. It was cool, man. It's cool to
They put a lot of UFC guys on there, right?
Yeah, because they're a draw. Like, you see them fight, you see them get submissions in fights or whatever. So, two dudes who probably wouldn't necessarily fight each other, they'll go grapple each other.
Yeah.
Because what's the risk? I'm not going to get knocked out. I'm not going to get hurt. It's basically just a wrestling match or a jiu-jitsu match. Like, but
grappling.
A lot of the dudes that they have in there are like usually wrestling based. So like nobody's really pulling guard. It's aggressive. It's like, they're going forward.
Head, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I grappled Andre Petrosky, who I think fights this weekend. He's fighting that Michelle Pereira. And I grappled Joe Pfeiffer, who just
he fought last weekend, right?
Yeah, he hit that Abdul Hazak Al Hassan with a head and arm. So, it's
fun.
It's good reps.
Yeah,
it's good reps. High caliber guys. Petrosky's got,
How did that go?
shitload. He choked me out. That motherfucker's strong, man. Both those guys are strong. And then, they're 8-minute matches, 8 or 10-minute matches. And if nobody submits anybody, then it's a ref's decision.
Oh, okay.
So I lost to Joe as well, but we went the whole time.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah, Kevin Holland took a couple of those matches too, right?
Kevin Holland, Phil Rowe, Jillian Robertson choked out Rose Namajunas.
That's right.
They got a bunch of UFC fighters that go out there and do that shit.
Tell them to give me a fight.
So I'll get you a match. They do have some cats that don't fight that do it. I'll hit them up. Yeah. I'm
trying to make my return.
And the cool thing about it is they pay too. So IBJJF,
you gotta
I pay them.
There.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fury, they pay me to go out there and do it. So I'm just like, why would I not do that?
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I wanted to ask about the experience that you had with the DMT, like.
Dude, I don't know how much time we got. It's just like.
Were you with Triple C or?
Yeah, I was in his backyard. And, it was like a whole ceremony. The lady was back there. You smoke hape, which is like tobacco, or you snort it. and apparently like the tobacco makes the absorption of the DMT easier through like the blood-brain barrier, so like it hits you harder. So you set your intention, which I really didn't have an intention, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just I hear everybody talk about this toad and what it is. So they hit me up and was like, "Yo, you want to do it?" Because they know I do mushrooms and I like the hallucinogens, and they'll be like, "Yeah."
But that's not DMT is like a whole nother
there's
animal.
there's two types of DMT. There's like NN-DMT, which probably more people have done that than they have the 5-MeO DMT, which is 5-MeO is like the most powerful hallucinogen on Earth.
That's what you did?
Yeah. So they like, I don't know like the refinery process, but it's like the venom off this specific toad in Mexico's the venom from the toad. And this toad like excretes this venom when it's like in danger. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a defense mechanism. And so I don't know how they like scrape it and dry it out, and it turns into a crystal. And I essentially freebase it out of a crack pipe. It's just like a long skinny tube with a bulb at the end, and they put it in there, and
it's just one hit, and that's like.
Well, I did 3, so it's like a small dose, a medium dose, and an astronomical dose.
You too, or?
He's done it before. He didn't do it this day.
he's on that scene.
Yeah.
He's just in this.
And like the first one was cool. It's just you just kind of like space out a little bit. Like you have to do it sitting down because you're gonna fall back. So it's just like whatever. Then the second one, it's a little bit, and so they hit it with a blowtorch. It's like, dude, I've never smoked meth, but this is what I would imagine smoking meth is like.
Same process. Right?
Yeah, same process, different result, And I remember like you inhale, and then the crystal disappears. It turns into a smoke. You smoke it all, and then you lay back, and like whenever you exhale, is that's when it really hits you. And after the second,
it doesn't take long at all to hit.
No, not at all.
Instant.
It's pretty quick. Like you hold it in, and then like they lay you back, and then as soon as you can't hold it no more, it's usually you're starting to trip, and it's like you kind of like exhales yourself. Your body like kind of takes over.
What did it feel like if you had to explain?
So like the second time, I remember like my eyes being open. I just remember kind of like hyperventilating, like. But every time I exhaled, like I would look down at my body laying there, and then when I inhaled, yeah, dude. So like, yeah, there's something, dude. Like you have a soul, dude. Well, I don't care what you believe in. You believe in God or not, or the universe, whatever you call it. Like you have it. There's something in there.
Your
like
soul leaves the body.
Pushing, yes.
You're like it's a what's it called? Third person experience,
like an out of body experience. Like it was me. Like I can't see. Like when you're out, like you can see all this, but like I wouldn't be able to see my hands, my feet. Like I can't see me, but I could see all this. And I just remember like looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down. And then the third time, it's like blast off. So you go. I don't know where you go, dude, but it's not here.
He's like, you go out.
It's not here. And like it's like I remember thinking, I was like, dude, I fucked up, dude. I just overdosed. Like. I'm dying. I don't want to die. So you're like panicking in your head, or what I thought was in my head, And then like after a while, dude, you accept it. It's like, dude, you fucked up, dude. You just widowed your wife. You orphaned your kids. Fucking, that's it. But then it's peaceful. It's bliss. It's like you just kind of like floating around in there, and just imagine like if you for real thought that you were dying, like how much you would panic and how hard you would fight it. And then, after a while, hours for me, like 20 minutes in real life, you come back.
Like hours?
Dude, I thought, I don't know if it's like heaven or I thought it was a rap, dude. I thought I was, for real, like legit thought I was dead. It's over with. Yeah. Everything just went white and you're just kind of like floating around in there. And the weird thing is, there was like this, like...
were you doing it alone or was someone else doing it?
A lady, a wrestler named Victoria Anthony was doing it as well.
Okay.
But like she was on like another part of the yard.
Next time, hit me up. I want to try it.
Dude, listen, I recommend to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It did change your mindset,
Like your perspective on
Yeah. So like, when she finished, then I went, but she didn't have the same reaction I did.
Everybody has a different.
Yeah, and like I said, you fight it, and you're just like, all right, fuck it. But then like there was this dude like a witch doctor kind of thing, like floating off in the corner, like playing a drum, like keeping a cadence, and I like remember trying to like focus on him.
Oh, so
but
have
then
music?
he would move, yeah. And then you come to, dude, I remember like laying in the grass and like it was like almost like a mushroom trip. Like I was like literally watching the grass grow and like just at
was
peace.
Moving and shit.
Yeah, just at peace. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And I was just like, dude, don't touch me. Just let me enjoy this. And then you like come back, it all wears off, and there's like no hangover effect or nothing like that. Like once it's over with, you know, you kind of like come back to your senses, and then that's it. But I wasn't in the same place that I started at, and I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, dude, and I had grass stains on my clothes and on my hands and stuff.
What?
And they're like, dude, I was like somersaulting in his yard, like doing front flips and all kinds of like crazy shit, like screaming.
Can you remember that?
I know, I don't remember that. I didn't know that I was doing that.
At that time, you're in that, wherever you're at.
Yeah, I'm trying to survive. I'm not worried about, you know, doing flips in this dude's yard. And dude, they were like, I'm surprised the cops haven't showed up yet, because apparently I was pretty vocal and loud about this. But I think like the main thing that I got out of that was like I fought a dude named Thiago Santos on like 6 days notice, went to war, and then I was so tired after the third round that I just couldn't answer the bell for the fourth round, so they called the fight. And like if you look at my fights before that fight, like they're kind of wild and chaotic and like all over the place. And after that, they're a little bit more like calculated or whatever. And I think like subconsciously I was scared to get that tired again. But then you do that, and I was like, dude, I thought that I was dead, so what is being tired? So now like when I fight, like they can be like wild and chaotic, because you don't have that like fear of, that subconscious fear rather, of getting tired and like so you can't answer the bell for the next round, you know what I mean? So I think that more so than anything brought that out.
So you recommend it?
I've done it more than once. I've done it, you know, a few more times.
And it usually hits the same.
Nah, that first time was,
you know what to
was
expect
different. Yeah. So you kind of like.
No, he said if you hit the same pipe, you have to.
Nah.
Yeah, dude, I have, but like, it's never gotten to like that extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, one time I took eighth of shrooms. That's a lot, right? That's a good amount, 3.5 grams.
Yeah.
And I took off, bro. Like, it's weird to explain, but like I shot off in the sky.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why I don't like explaining like that DMT shit to somebody who ain't never done DMT and knows what it is. But yo, this is crazy.
I was sleeping. My girl was driving. We were on the way to Galveston. it was the last shit.
You did on a car drive?
Yeah,
ooh,
right.
Boy, you brave.
So I was in the car sleeping, and like my soul left my body, and connected with my brother. My brother passed away like 2 years ago. My older brother. So like, we're literally just, and he was just like, "It's okay. It's okay." And it like told me like there's an afterlife after. I don't know if there is or not, but it made me feel like, I don't know, there's something else out there after our body leaves, bro. Like, and I never believed it before that, because my girl would be like, yeah, your soul is this, your soul is that. And I'd be like, bro, when you die, you just die.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Listen, I used to think the same thing.
And then when that experience happened, I was like, there's something out there. Because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's like, I wasn't here, yeah.
But I also accept the fact that like, you just smoked like super powerful hallucinogens, so maybe what you saw or felt or experienced was just a hallucination, and that's, you know, what it might have been. But you know, my perception is like, I don't think especially after that second hit, you just laying on your back and it's like you breathe out and like you're looking down on yourself. You know, how do I know what I look like in that moment? You know what I mean? Like facial expression, you know, all that. You know what I mean? So I believe you have a soul. What happens after you die, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the shit might just go black, you know.
Right.
You know, and
I used to argue
you know,
Like
what I'm
as
saying?
a dog, like
Yeah.
As a
So,
dog.
yeah, so I don't know, you know, but
Yeah, it's still a cool experience nonetheless.
yeah,
right?
yeah, you know, I would, you know,
Cause is that the same tour they do in the Amazon?
they do ayahuasca.
Okay.
I'm sure that tour
I've been wanting
is
to try
there.
all of those. I've been wanting to just because they got tours. You know that?
Yeah, I've done ayahuasca before.
Oh,
I
yeah?
didn't.
Oh,
It was
shit.
like too Jim Jonesy for me. Like, you know, because it was like a ceremony. It's like you can't eat salt, can't eat meat, can't have sex
really?
for like 4 days.
The fuck?
And I'm like, 'cause you have to like cleanse yourself, I guess. So I was like, all right, cool. But then they're like, you gotta wear all white. I'm like, what? And then,
That's what
you know, like you show up, everybody's in all white. And this is just the particular ceremony that I went to. They have like a band, like guitar, drums, like they're playing like Brazilian music. I was in Brazil. The women sit on one side, men sit on another side, and you fucking sit in a chair and they play the music and you kind of get in the zone. Then after a while, they're like, go take a shot of, you know, the ayahuasca. Cool. You take another shot. After a while, you take another shot, and then the third time, they're like, drink as much as you want. So shit, dude, I must have drank like half the damn. I was just like kept handing the glass back. I was like, mice, like more. And then I look back, like everybody else in the ceremony, like, you know, they trying to get their sip on too. So, you know, I went and sat down. And I think that like when you do things like that, you have to be like comfortable. I wasn't like super comfortable with where I was at. You know what I mean? So it's not gonna let you have the experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna block it yourself. So I think that's just kind of what happened to me. Maybe I'll like, you know, try it again in like a more comfortable setting. So I really didn't like trip or.
What did you feel?
know,
Just a little.
Man, it just like I threw up. You know.
Oh, okay.
This is like a 12-hour ceremony, and you're like supposed to like close your eyes and like get in the zone. But I was like peeking and looking at everybody else. You know, everybody else was having a grand time, dude. They were like, you know, up rolling around and like, you know, catching the Holy Ghost and shit. And here I am just waiting. And maybe my expectation wasn't.
And
You know, there's a lot of things that
You're
I
like-
probably did to
So
like
that's what I'm
fuck the
saying.
trip up. You know what I mean?
did you already prior to this? Did you already have like some experiences with hallucinogen?
Dude, I've been doing mushrooms since like
yeah,
high school.
yeah.
You know. So yeah, I've done like shrooms, like acid, LSD. I guess are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a while. But like with those, you don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? You take mushrooms, you're gonna go see the wizard. You know what I'm saying? Whether you accept that, and like I think when people have like bad trips on mushrooms, it's because they have a hard time like giving up control.
Yeah.
You,
You
know
gotta
what I
just
mean?
let it be,
Yeah,
right?
You gotta just surrender to it and just, you know, let it go. You know, let it do what it does. Because with mushrooms and like hallucinogens, dude, once you buy the ticket, once you get on the ride, like you not, and that thing starts click, 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 click. There ain't no getting off, you know, until it's done. And I think a lot of people have a hard time like accepting that part of like LSD and mushrooms. And DMT is the same thing. Like, dude, you're there until it metabolizes in your body. You know what
You
I'm
ever
saying?
try salvia?
Nah.
So one time I tried
tried that
salvia.
once.
So my homies, this was like 10 years ago. I was in high school. They came. This is when like K2 was coming out, the fake weed, the Kush.
Dude, yep, smoke that too.
Yeah, so this
I
was
on
around that
probation,
era.
so-
So my
I
homies
was in
like, hey,
college.
I got some shit. Hey, you want to try it? And I was always like, yeah, I'll try it. You know, like
Yeah, what's up?
they came, they brought a little pack of it was salvia.
It looked
was
like dirt, right?
It looked like dirt and like little pieces of sticks. Anyways, we smoked that shit. Me and my homie hit that, and bro, like
And a joint, or like
this, it was in a little pipe, like a weed pipe, the metal ones. I was on the couch like this. It felt like my body was stretching like a piece of gum. Like I was trying to get off the couch, and like I was stretching to it. Like
stuck
I was
to it?
stuck to it. Yeah, I was stuck on the couch, bro.
Then I've heard salvia is like 15 minutes of complete fear, like scared to death, and then it's just
No, they
When I
said
smoked
they
it-
told me I was looking scared as fuck, and I was like,
Yeah.
nah, I was having a decent time. I was just wasn't expecting that,
Yeah.
and like it was like a group of people like this, and like we all turned into like books, That was weird, bro.
Mine was like, I don't know, I smoked it, and let's say we're sitting like this, all y'all turn into like robots, and we're on a roller coaster, like.
I would do it, dude. I've never done it, but I would do it.
It didn't last very long, but I
Nah,
couldn't
mine was
stop
like-
laughing at the same time.
Mine was like
I
3
couldn't stop.
minutes.
Yeah. I read this book called The Last Comanche Chief, and it's about like how after the Civil War, like white people started moving west into like Native American territory and like their interactions and whatnot. And like towards the middle or the end of the book, they get the natives on the reservation, and they're like observing them and their ceremonies and stuff. And they were eating peyote, which is like a cactus.
Mhm.
And they were like, dude, all night they would just be popping these buttons, is what they would call them in the book. And it's like all night, like 20 or 30 of them, with just like 20 or
Damn.
30 buttons, and
That
they'd
little
just be up
cactus.
all night, just what sounds like a mushroom trip, like singing, dancing, just like a ceremony. So I was like,
What book was that?
The Last Comanche Chief. It's an awesome book that you should read it. Dude.
I
It
feel like
talks
they
about all
made
about
us read that in elementary.
Yeah, hell nah, no way, dude, no way. 'Cause they
He went to Hood Elementary. where they
Nah,
had
I don't care what
baseball.
elementary. They're not letting you read this book. They're talking about how Comanches will like eat the organs of the people
Oh,
they
shit,
killed.
nah.
And, yeah, eat their heart. But it's also like a cool book to read because like you hear about that, but then they're like they don't care if you were white or whatever. Like if they saw you in battle and they saw you had a warrior spirit, they would assimilate you into the tribe. So they weren't all just natives. Like there were a lot of like biracial Comanches. There were like, white Comanches.
Yeah.
Like they just wanted warriors, and that was like their bottom line. So if you were a warrior, they'll like
Take
you in, but like you have to like speak the language and practice their customs.
Nice. So if like knowing now everything that you've done, like your story's been like a fairy tale story of like winning a national championship and then going to the UFC. Would you, if you had a chance to redo it, would you do it all over again and like choose MMA first, or like choose fighting before football, or what?
To be honest, dude, I learned so much playing football, and winning a national championship probably accelerated the process of getting to the UFC. Because like, it's not just fighting. It's like marketability and like what fan base you bring to it. So I wasn't like the best fighter. I'm still not the best fighter, but I had a fan base coming in. So the UFC likes that. So that's why I got in at 8 fights rather than, there's guys who were like, I had 12, 13, 14 fights, still not in the UFC. So, I love MMA way more than I ever loved football, but I don't regret anything. You know what I mean? I'm glad I had that experience winning a national championship. Man, not very many people get to do that. You know what I mean? Especially in the fashion that I did it. So nah, I don't think I would trade MMA. I wish I'd have started training MMA while I was playing football, so that I was a little bit further ahead. 'Cause I had never like thrown like a for real punch, like a trained punch, until I was 24. You know what I mean? Imagine if I'd have been training since I was, 14. And I remember like going to my mom when I was a kid saying, "Hey, I want to box," but she was like, "Nah, you're gonna be brain dead. Whatever. You're gonna have brain damage. But hey, you can go play football and turn your body into go get in these car accidents every day. These head-on collisions." But they didn't know anything about like CTE and like head trauma.
They think you have
Back
pads,
then.
a helmet, you're good.
Yeah. So no one knew. But like, you can go back and like look at boxers and listen to some of them, talk now. That they're punch drunk. You know what I'm saying? My mom didn't want that for me. But then like I remember having the conversation when I was like 24. It's like, "Hey, I want to fight." And then, dude, she's a mom, so she laid into me. She was like, "Man, I paid all this money for your braces, and, you're going to be slurring your words." And then, she thought to herself, she got quiet, thought to herself for a second. She's like, "But I know you're going to do what you want anyway, so, have fun with it." So I wish she'd have let me do that, back then. But at the same time, I'm glad she didn't, because, your brain ain't fully developed till like, 24, 25 years old. So, I'm getting punched and playing football.
Yeah, that's not good.
How am I going to be, when I'm 50? I got a chance now, you know what I mean? I got a shot, so. We'll see, but I wouldn't change anything. I would have still played football because all that led to this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't fight if I don't play football, 'cause I just remember being just essentially having a hard time adjusting to being like a regular person. You know what I mean? So I was like, I needed more. Maybe if I don't play football, I don't have that hunger. I don't have that desire to do anything but work, do the 9-to-5 thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just...
It played out exactly what it was supposed to.
You wouldn't change it.
Yeah, how, it happened how it was going to happen,
Perfect time.
Yeah, because you could have took the MMA route and just not like that, but became shit, right?
Yeah.
This football got you that platform where you're...
Yeah, and dude, I had so many great experiences playing college football.
I wouldn't school year, right?
I wouldn't change anything from the people, the guys I played football with that I still talk to this day.
You keep up with them still?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the experiences I've had, some of the doors that's opened up. Some of the rooms I've sat in, some the people I've shared a drink with, I wouldn't change any of that.
Nice. I also hear that you have real estate, you know what I mean, and that you invest in your money.
Yeah. So when I was married and I started doing good, I was like, hey, let's go here, let's do this, let's get that. Just like anybody else who goes from nothing to having something. But my ex, she was like, nah. This is what we're gonna do, and then you buy the houses, you get the houses, people pay the rent in the houses, and now that pays for your lifestyle. You can do whatever you want now because that money's coming. So we started off with foreclosed homes. You buy those cash, then you renovate them, and then you get your rent. And then. We got tired of having to fix the houses all the time, so we sold a bunch of those, and now we have newer houses. And like I said, it pays for the mortgage on the house that I live in. It pays my truck note. So if I didn't fight, I would still have to work. You know what I mean? Because
so you won't be struggling.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be desperate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You got money coming in regardless.
Yeah, so and there is some bullshit. It's not guaranteed. Sometimes people are late. Sometimes they don't pay.
Being a landlord ain't always.
But at the end of the day,
have you ever had to deal with a sitter?
Dude, yeah.
For real?
Yeah, I remember one time in one of the foreclosed homes. I say foreclosed, we bought it, fixed it up, made it nice. You know what I mean? And dude, this lady named Tamika, to this day, if I hear the name Tamika, it's a trigger for me, dude.
Common name here.
I'm just
you're gonna see a lot of Tamikas out here in Houston.
And they didn't pay, and we're cool, we get it. You know what I'm saying? If everybody falls on hard times, if you're gonna be late, you can't make a month or whatever, just hey, I lost my job, or this is what it is. Cool. Especially the foreclosed homes, because they're paid for, already paid for. There is no note on the house.
It's just extra money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so I go over there, and we were new to this, so I don't really know
you don't have experience,
the laws. You know what I mean? I go over there looking for Tamika, and bruh man answers the door. This big motherfucker, just sweats, no shirt, just fucking. My brother must have been 6'5", and one of the
in Alabama though.
Yeah, in Alabama.
Okay.
They're all in Alabama. And I go in, I knock on the door. Bro man answers the door. I say bro man because he's the dude from Martin, dude. Just this big motherfucker. Yeah, just a big motherfucker. And no shirt, sweats, and I was just like, hey, you guys haven't paid. You guys got to go. I'm legit thinking I can just go and tell them that they got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back Sunday. I need the keys. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to be out. He was just like, all right. And as soon as he shut the door, I was like, this ain't going to be easy, because ain't no one just finna get told that they got to bounce from the house and they be cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then a car pulls up as I'm leaving. I don't know what Tamika looks like, because you know, I would just train all the time, and then my ex would like handle everything with the houses and stuff. So but I was just kind of the enforcer, you know, because she's a woman, I'm a dude, you know, whatever. So this old lady gets out of the car, and I'm like, "Hey, are you Tamika?" She's like, "Nah." And I told her the same thing. She was like, "All right," kept it moving. The car drives off. I drive, you know, I'm driving down the road. Tamika calls me. Tamika was just driving the car. That was her mom that I was talking to. And she was like, "What'd you say? You're going to do what?" And I was just like, "Man, you know, you guys haven't paid. You guys, I think I'm being reasonable here." You know, like,
you gotta go. You ain't
gotta
paying.
go. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like common sense. She was like, "Nah, the law says," and this bitch recited like the fucking penal codes and the law like verbatim. Like, this is not her first time. You know what I'm saying? She's like a professional at this shit. So I'm like, what? And so like, I can't just go over there and throw their shit out because it's illegal. You know what I mean? So long story short, like, you have to go through all the bullshit, the legal system, to get them out of the house. But that takes like 6 months. Yeah, like 6 to 8 months. Yeah. So like, I just think that's fucked up because, you know, this is my business. This is, you know, how I make my money. And how do they have more rights?
So they can go how long without paying?
I think the longest we ever had was somebody going like 8 months or a year without paying. What? And then they fuck up the house, they trash it, you know, you know what I mean? So, long story short, you know, we just got tired of dealing with that. So we sold all the foreclosed homes and started buying like newer houses, which they have their issues, you know, because, you know, everything that you do, every business that you have, I'm sure y'all have issues here. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. There's always some bullshit associated with everything, but it ain't as much bullshit and like way more like.
So how that situation end off?
Well, I mean, they ended up getting out, but like, you know, I lost a year of rent.
So it's an L.
It's an L. Yeah, it's an L. Yeah, it's a big L.
I watched that. You ever seen that documentary? It's on Netflix, like about sitters, like.
Yeah, like
the worst neighbor.
My
I've
roommate
seen it,
or some
but
shit.
I always wanted to click on it.
Yeah, nah, dude, that shit's wild. Like,
Houston's heavy on that.
Dog, they had one in Philly.
Right.
One of them episodes was in Philly. The dude like answered the ad in the paper to be a roommate, and as soon as you get mail in Pennsylvania, I guess, as soon as you get mail addressed to you at an address, it's your residence, so they can't kick you out. Even though, like, I own the house, I live in the house, you just renting a room, I can't kick you out. And so, like, it was this girl and this dude was living in there, and he was, like, threatening her. Yeah, not paying shit.
Imagine living with someone, you hit your roommate and...
What? Dog, it was wild. I was like, nah, hell nah.
That's weird.
Yeah, nah, and it's just, like, goes across, like, different, like, states and stuff. I've seen that shit, and I was just like... Nah, hell nah. Me and the homies have to pull up. Like, yeah, I need you out of my sister's crib, my boy. Like, out.
Damn, you know, that's crazy. So. Now, you hear about it all the time. It's on ABC 13 News all the time where, like, sitters don't want to leave and they feel, like, entitled to their property. And it's just, it's like a whole scam, basically.
And, like, the worst, and, like, this hasn't really happened to us, is when you have a mortgage on the house. Because that mortgage payment still got to get paid.
And they ain't paying.
And so, like... Like some of the newer houses, like we got a mortgage on it, but like the people who are renting the house pay the mortgage and then pay us on top of that. I don't know if they know that that's what's happening, but that's what's happening.
Value them type of.
Yeah, but then like even if they don't pay, this is when you really start losing money because that mortgage payment still got to get paid. You know, dude, I've taken like air conditioning. I've taken like what you call fuses out of air conditioning units in the summer. Because you don't have to provide air conditioning. You have to provide heat in the winter. You don't have to provide in Alabama anyways, you don't have to provide AC. So I'm just going to smog you out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to cut it off. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to burn up in there. You know what I mean? Or get out.
Yeah,
you know
every
what I'm
state
saying?
has different shit.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, nah, and but the squatters, they know all the rules.
Yeah.
They know the laws. They've done it before. And you don't know that when you put them in the house, otherwise you would never put them in the house. They always come across as, hey, you know, I'm working, here's my pay stubs, here's my, you know, whatever. Yeah, no, I'm not never renting to a Tamika never again. I'm sorry. I don't care how that sounds. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can try and cancel me. If your name is Tamika, don't put an application in.
Damn, what if like this is the best credit you got?
Nah. I'm scarred.
So what's next for Eryk Anders?
I got 4 fights left on my contract. Yeah, I'll retire after those 4. In the meantime, I plan on starting and opening up a gym.
What if you go 4-0?
I'm done, dude. I'm done. I'm sitting here with a broken foot, man. I've had like 7 surgeries. I'm already 36. My oldest son will be in high school next year. You know, it's time for me to like, you know.
So we met you, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jacob Parker with Iridium. Yeah. He's the one that brought you Moreno and was it Ricky?
Ricky Simone. Yeah. Like fighting is a super selfish sport. Like if you don't train because like, you know, you only have so much time during the day. You know what I mean? So you're already trying to split that up between family and training and like social life and like running businesses and things like that. You know, sometimes like everything else, especially during fight camp, I'm not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused solely on fighting. So like I'll lose time with my kids, you know. Yeah. So it's like now that he's in high school and the other one's right behind him, they're like a grade apart. You know, by that time it'll be time for me to like give them everything. You know what I mean? So that's my plan.
Your window.
Any of your kids play football or anything like that?
Yeah, my oldest plays football, wrestles, and runs track, and then the youngest he plays basketball and soccer.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, they're nice little athletes.
You would say they're naturals?
Yeah. I tell my oldest, he's gonna be like me. He's gonna be an effort guy. They're gonna be watching somebody else's film and see you flying around into the screen and be like, "Who's that guy?" That's how I got recruited. I wasn't like super talented. My youngest, like he just like a natural athlete. Like his body control was unreal. Yeah. You know, he not big or strong or nothing like that, but he can stop on a dime. I remember when he was like 4 years old. You know, I'd have to bring him to the gym because you can't leave a 4 and 6-year-old alone. Dude, I turn around and they're like the walls are padded. They're running across the mat floor. And my youngest is like running up the wall and like doing a backflip and like landing on his feet with like no pad, no nothing. I'm like, where did you learn that? Where did you see that? You had to have seen somebody do that. Like, oh no, just
came natural.
Just trying. Thought it looked cool. And I was like, what? My oldest couldn't do that, but like he's like square peg, round hole. You know, he's like has the same frame as me. You know, so they're just like 2 different kind of athletes. Okay. You know what I mean? So.
You got a bright future.
We'll see what happens, man. Football, it's
It's a tough sport.
I didn't want him to play football just because, like, I know what it does. You know how it feels. Like, he's 14 and like last year he broke his hip.
What position?
He plays linebacker, running back, and defensive end.
Okay. What do you think he'll end up being?
We'll have to see how tall he gets. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like 5'6", 5'7" now, 5'8", something like that. So, a lot of those positions are based on like body type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? High school it's a little bit different because how many guys are out there 6'5".
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see how they develop.
Yeah. So the hip injury, how'd that happen?
Man, it's called an avulsion fracture, and it's like where the muscle like kind of yanks the bone off the rest of the bone. He didn't need surgery or nothing like that, but like it happened the first game of the season, and apparently it happens with like a lot of jumpers. Like essentially he like too strong for his bones.
That's what happened to Bo Jackson, I think.
What happened with him is like he's always dragging people, and like his hip separated and pinched a vein, so like he was like bleeding.
Blood stopped flowing to the hip, right?
Well, like your blood is acidic, so like the blood. I'm from what I remember, like hearing about it, like he busted that vein in his hip, and like the blood like eroded his hip, and that's why he couldn't ever play no more, and he has had a hip replacement already. So this is a little bit different. Like like I said, he didn't need surgery. He was just on crutches for a few weeks, but then that happened. The football season is in September. Then he wrestled, in December.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it was like a like life altering injury or nothing like that. But you know, it's like so he is like stocky, like a strong kid. I'm like, dude, you need to work on that flexibility, my boy. You know.
And I was gonna ask you, who did you like as you were coming up, as like a 24, 25-year-old in the MMA scene? Who did you look up to? Who did you have anyone that?
Not really.
It was new to you, right? The whole.
Yeah, I always liked like Frankie Edgar, because no matter how the fight went for him, like he was always in that bitch, and like, there's several times where he'll get dropped and come back and finish the fight because he would just outpace and put more damage and give more than the other person. Like you'd watch him like get hurt and then come back and melt somebody. You know what I'm saying? They put so much pressure on them, put a pace on they couldn't keep up with, and they'll fold. I just I've always had like those kind of athletes, like the Bo Jackson type. Don't really say much, just go out there, do their thing, hand the ref the ball, and take it to the sideline. You really never hear Frankie talk about saying too much, or he just go out there, do the work, and
professional.
Take it to the house. And I've always felt like I've had like that similar personality. Like I like to talk shit, like locker room talk shit, not necessarily to my opponent or whatever, but like we're just sitting here, no cameras or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Talk about whatever, like your outfit, your haircut, your shoes, whatever it may be, just kicking it with the homies. I just always feel like those were those kind of guys. So those are the kind of guys I like to watch.
I was actually there for that Frank Edgar, Gray Maynard.
They don't quit.
You remember that one?
Yeah, they fought like fucking 10 times.
I think he came back and was it the 5th round and knocked out Gray Maynard after being beat the fuck up.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes
never give up.
Well, I trained with a guy named Chris Howder before, who's like one of the Dirty Dozen, one of the first 12 black belts, American black belts in America. And he always says it's not who's best, it's who's left. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, like, someone may be better than you, but for whatever reason, like, in whatever situation it is, like fighting, they can't last 5 rounds, or, they can't take as much punishment. They beat your ass in the first 3 or 4 rounds, but that 5th round, you went there and you got them out of there. And, same thing with life. Like, there's a lot of people who, you probably started jiu-jitsu with, who may have been better than you or whatever, but they got that blue belt and was like, shh. Pete, that is something getting away, you know what I mean? So it's this is something that's always like resonated with me, that saying.
Who sticks around?
Yeah, it's who's left.
So when do you have official date for your next fight?
Nah, I go back and see the doctor about my foot Tuesday, so hopefully, like I just started training. Like these past 2 days, my first time I've been back training for real, and I go back and see the doctor Tuesday. Hopefully he clears me, and we can get something on paper, start working towards like a specific date.
Gotcha. Well, I got to get you to the airport, so appreciate you coming out to the H-Town.
We do have a question for you, though.
Yeah, I always ask this question at the end of the pod. Have you ever, or do you believe in aliens, or have you ever seen like anything in the sky?
I mean, I've never seen, but like for me, this is the thing. Like we can't even comprehend the vastness of the universe. Like
it's not infinite. Even our own ocean.
Yeah, well, like the universe is like even bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about light years, 100 light years, and we still not even like nowhere near the edge of this shit. So like, how could it possibly be in all that vastness of space that we're the only living thing?
A billion stars, like
yeah, they've already found bacteria. What comes from bacteria? Fucking, single cell, multi-cell, complex organisms. You know what I mean? So, for me, and then you have like Stonehenge.
Do you think they visited?
Yeah, dog, for sure, dude, for sure. Like if you just look at places like Stonehenge or like the pyramids, it's like it's too perfect. You know what I mean? It's like.
Do you think the aliens helped build the pyramids?
I think
they had help,
fit a razor between any of those rocks.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't.
We still don't have the technology to build that right now.
Yeah, how is that? You know what I mean? So like I don't have the answers. Do I believe that aliens exist and like Yeah,
And they
what they look
visited.
like, I don't know. You know, did they help build the pyramids? I don't know, but like, I think Elon Musk is not of this planet, dude. So, yeah, have they been here? Yeah, they like. He's the richest dude in the world, actually. You know.
Well, appreciate you.
What about? Do you think there was a moon landing?
Like, have we been?
Yeah, has he
I don't
been
know,
to the moon?
dude. Yeah, probably, dog. Yeah, you know, we can do all this other shit. You know, whether it was 1969 or not, like we've been there.
Do you believe that was a moon landing?
Could have been. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? People always try to debunk some bullshit. Like, you still have people say the Earth is flat. You know what I mean? So, I think the internet is like the best and worst thing because it used to be like when the internet first came, like you could like look up shit. Now there's like so much information and disinformation
You don't know
and
what's
people's
real.
opinions. So it's like you don't know.
You be on Twitter or no?
I scroll through every now and then.
Now they have the community notes. Like if someone's like has like a false like tweet, they like the community notes like says that this is not true. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like I can voice my opinion or like state like a literal fact, like COVID, for example. You know, people were telling the truth about COVID and like hospitals and people dying in car accidents and them, you know, putting.
they're getting shadow banned. and
Yeah,
shit.
you know, and they're like people are like, yo, that
Cause
didn't
of death
happen.
was COVID.
It's like,
Got
what?
bit by a shark, died by COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And so that people were like saying that, you know, I say this dude drowned, but it was COVID that caused the drowning. And so like people were like, yo,
But they, you know they were making money off that. That's why they
for
did
sure. But I'm saying people are like saying what is like public knowledge, and people on Twitter are still saying that
Some
it's
bullshit.
yeah. I'm just like, so I don't even. I just like kind of scroll through and look at
Yeah.
memes and shit and see what's going on in like the MMA
Videos.
community because you know MMA is pretty cut and dry. Like he got knocked out, he lost. There is no
Mhm.
The gray.
Yeah,
areas.
yeah,
It's
there
just
is
black
none.
or white.
so. Yeah,
Well, appreciate you coming out to H-Town.
man, appreciate you guys. You guys always show love, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We got a fresh pair of kicks.
Yeah, you see
DJ
'em.
Khaled, we the best.
Let's go. Hope to
Let's
see
get
you
it.
soon, brother.
Can't
Yes,
wait to see
absolutely.
you in the cage, bro, for real.
Yeah, hopefully the first quarter of next year. So
Let's get it.
we'll see what's up.
Yeah, fully recovered.
That's it.
All right, y'all. See y'all.
Appreciate y'all kicking in Space City. Let's go.
Yo, what up, man? It's Dope Man, about your God, and right now you kicking it with Space City Collective right in the southeast.
You're now kicking it with Space City. Let's try it.
Yo, what's going down? It's that boy T, the screwed up SA, and you now kicking it with Space City Podcast.